The number one most important thing that somebody can do to invest in their marriage relationship, regardless of every other thing that's going on, is to invest first and foremost in their personal relationship with the Lord. If you are developing intimacy with God, if you are following Jesus with all of your heart, then you're changing and you're being more conformed to the image of Jesus. And that can only be good for your marriage relationship. And if both partners in the marriage are each developing their relationship with Jesus, then what happens is it's like what we call the marriage triangle. And even though I couldn't find an image where the whole thing would fit behind me in a way that you could see it, you can see enough to see that if the husband down in this corner and the wife down in this corner are each developing, getting closer and closer and closer to Jesus up there at the top, they're also getting closer and closer together. Closer and closer together. This is called the marriage triangle. So the closer a husband and wife get to Jesus, the closer they get to each other. Now, there are ways to do this, and we're not just talking about going to church on Sunday. That might make a little difference, but very little difference. There are things that you each can do on your own. There are things that you can do together as a couple. But I just want to encourage every married couple that's watching this right now to kind of do a self-evaluation, not an evaluation of your spouse, but an evaluation of yourself. What are you doing on a regular basis to invest in your relationship with the Lord? Do you take time alone to spend with him, getting into his word, getting his word into you? Do you spend time, as Jesus said in John chapter 15, abiding in him, not just running off doing stuff for him, but just abiding, remaining, living in his presence and receiving from him what he wants to pour into you, the wisdom you need, the patience you need, the joy that you need, the self-control that you need, the humility that you need, just abiding. Do you spend time talking, not just saying your prayers, but really praying, really talking to Jesus? You say, well, I just talk to him whenever I think about it throughout the day. Good, that's great. But having time alone, an appointment with God. We keep appointments with our clients. We keep appointments with our doctors and our dentists. We keep appointments with everybody. Do we keep an appointment with God? Do we keep regular appointments with him? Because it's in that quiet place of aloneness with God that intimacy is really built, and the foundation is laid for the rest of those spontaneous moments throughout the day when you're interacting with him. Do you spend time listening to what he's saying? Not just talking about the preacher's sermon on Sunday, though that's a way God might speak to you, but talking about in the quietness of time alone with him, asking him specific questions, listening for specific answers, asking him, how can you invest in your marriage relationship? How can you be the father that he's calling you to be? How can you be, asking about your other relationships and your relationship with finances and your relationship to your physical body and all of these different major areas of our lives, just asking the Lord, what's your perspective? What do you think? What do you want to say to me? And you might hear words of encouragement. You're doing great. Keep it up. I'm really pleased with how you're growing in that area. Or you might hear, Something like, well, here's something you and I need to work on together. So let's talk about how we can do that. These are ways of investing in our relationship with the Lord. And if we're both doing this, then my experience is conviction is quick to come when it needs to come in the marital relationship. And humility and confession and true repentance of heart is coming a lot quicker when I'm keeping in tune with my intimacy with God, even above and before my relationship with my wife. But someone said, if you love God with all your heart, how is there enough love to give anybody else? Well, the truth is, the more you love God and the more you let him love you and love through you, the more love there is to go around. It's this spiritual multiplication that happens. You don't lose love, you multiply love when you love God first with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind. So that's the marriage triangle. I encourage you to think about ways that you can invest in this relationship with God as an individual, and we'll talk about ways to do that as a couple as well. Probably on the next edition of Marriage Matters with McCracken.